Alright, so we have a series up here and I wanted to show you how you could manipulate that series. So I have this curve down here. We're going to use that guy, so I'm just going to set one curve. It's going to create the series just like that one. And then what I want to do is split this guy up. So if I do a panel and I pull this geometry into a panel, you'll see that it's giving me 5 pieces in a list of 4, right? So I have 4 of 5. So basically it's giving me 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in each of those, right? So that's my list. If I dispatch that list, so it's called dispatch, right? I can take that list and it will split it into 0 and 1, so it'll get every other one. So if I Control C, Control V this, and we pull this list over here, this panel, and pull that in, you're getting every other one. So if I get curve, right, I still have 3, but I'm getting 1, 2, 3 of those 3 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 of those 3. And then the one below here will have the remainder, right? So, and then if I push that into there, it'll only have 2, right? So it's just splitting. It's going in and going, getting all of these, and then not this one, and then all of the 2's, and then not the 3 for the first one, right? And it's splitting those. So once we have those split, we can do things to them individually, and we can use a bounding box. So I'm going to use a bounding box to sort of isolate those guys, and if I come in and pull this guy down, we'll do list A, right? It's going to give me a bounding box for each one of those, right? So that's great. We want to go ahead and isolate each one of those and get a center for them so we can rotate them on each of their individual centers. So I can do an area here, right? And if I do an area, it's going to give me the centers of every one of those boxes. So now I can do something like a mirror or a scale or a rotate, any of these, and act on that piece. So if I take the centroid and put it in the plane here, put it in the center there, and put it in the plane here, and then take my geometry, start pushing it through into each one of these, right? And then I'll need a couple of number sliders, and the scale I won't need that big. Right, and we can push these guys into the different, whoops, oh, it's at 0 again, always watching out for the 0, and then the angle, always making sure to set the geometry angle to degrees, and then we can, let me just get rid of the preview of those, right, and then the mirror, we want to do a plane actually. It's mirroring it on itself, so I'm going to do a YZ plane. And the YZ plane needs a point, so that needs to go into the origin. And then the plane would go into the mirror, right? And now you're starting to get... Let's go ahead and turn these guys off. Whoops. Turn these guys on. And we'll turn the rotate off, right? So now we're getting every other one, right, for this guy. Now if I preview this one off, I can preview the scale on, right, and start to play with the scale of one of them, right? And then if I preview that off, preview that on, now I'm getting, now I can rotate these, you know, within 180 degrees, which is little different. That's actually a mirror on the X. So if you're doing a mirror on the X, but you can do that. You could combine them. So if you wanted to, you could actually push this geometry into there and then scale them and rotate them, right? So you can just keep going, whatever you want to do. Um, you could also, let me preview these guys off, zoom in here. You could also keep culling. So if I, take this dispatch and take this, let's preview that. So there's the every other one. If you put those into the list here, and let's just, it'll actually do every other one of those. So you're getting, instead of the center one, it's doing the outward ones. And you could do the same thing for this one, every other one. So you could start to do that as well. There are a lot of different ways to use cull pattern and dispatch pattern to get something. So